There is something most men walk past every single day without recognizing it for what it actually is. A signal. Clear, consistent, and communicating something she has not yet found the words or the courage to say out loud. And by the time most men finally notice it, the moment has already passed. She has already redirected that energy towards someone who is paying attention. When a woman has not experienced genuine intimacy for an extended period of time, something shifts in her behavior. Not dramatically, not obviously, but in ways that are entirely real, entirely rooted in human psychology, and entirely visible once you understand what you are actually looking at. Her body, her energy, her patterns of communication begin expressing something her words are carefully holding back. And if you know how to read those expressions, not to take advantage of them, but to genuinely understand what another person is communicating, everything about how you connect with women changes. Today we are going through 7 things a woman does when she has been without intimacy for a long time. Not surface-level observations. Deep behavioral and psychological patterns that reveal something real about what is happening beneath the surface. The first thing she does is become acutely aware of physical proximity, and she begins closing it. When a woman has been without genuine physical closeness for a significant period, her body starts seeking that closeness in the ways available to it. She sits nearer than the situation strictly requires. She finds reasons to be in the same space. She creates proximity that looks casual, that could always be explained as coincidental, but that happens consistently, repeatedly, across multiple interactions. This is not a conscious strategy. It is an instinct. The body seeking warmth and closeness in the ways socially available to it. If you notice someone consistently finding reasons to be physically near you, not once, not occasionally, but as a pattern, that pattern is communicating something her words have not yet formed. The second thing she does is initiate physical contact in small, socially acceptable ways. A hand briefly on your arm during conversation. A touch on your shoulder that lasts slightly longer than the moment required. A hug when a wave would have done perfectly well. These gestures appear innocent. They are not random. When a woman has been without physical intimacy for an extended time, her need for touch begins expressing itself through whatever contact feels socially safe. She is not always fully aware she is doing it. Her body is simply responding to an absence, seeking the warmth and connection of another person's physical presence in the ways available before anything more intimate becomes possible. The key detail to notice is the pattern. One touch means little. Repeated, consistent, gradually escalating physical contact across multiple interactions tells a completely different story. The third thing she does is introduce humor with a slightly different edge. Pay attention to when and how the tone of her jokes begins to shift. Comments that previously stayed entirely innocent start carrying a double meaning. Remarks that brush against more personal territory appear in conversations that were previously surface level. And she delivers these lightly, always with a laugh, always with enough casual distance that if you do not pick up on the signal, she can simply move on as though it was nothing. This is not accidental. Playful humor with a slightly provocative edge is one of the ways women test the water, checking whether you can hold that kind of energy with confidence and warmth rather than awkwardness or overreaction. When the tone of her humor shifts toward you specifically, pay attention to what that shift is actually saying. The fourth thing she does is begin opening up her conversations in a more vulnerable direction. The topics she brings up change. What used to be surface-level exchanges about ordinary daily life start moving somewhere more personal. She mentions her past relationships, not always directly, but in the way someone does when something is on their mind. She makes comments about how long it has been since she felt genuinely close to someone. She says things that carry real emotional weight beneath a casual delivery. Things like not remembering what it feels like to truly connect with someone, or how much she has changed since her last relationship and how differently she would approach things now. These are not throwaway remarks. They are windows. She is letting you see something she does not share with everyone. And the way you respond in those moments, whether you actually receive what she is sharing or simply move past it, determines whether that window opens further or quietly closes. The fifth thing she does is show a quiet, subtle jealousy that she never directly names. It will not be dramatic. There will be no confrontation. It will be a fractional pause when you mention another woman. A comment delivered with a light laugh that carries a little more edge than the situation actually warranted. A barely perceptible shift in her energy when your attention moves elsewhere. Nothing she would ever admit to openly, but something you can feel if you are genuinely paying attention rather than just listening to the words. This quiet jealousy is not possessiveness. It is the surface expression of something she has been keeping contained. A small, involuntary signal that she wants to be the one holding your attention. And it only appears in people who genuinely care, because indifference produces no jealousy at all. The sixth thing she does is begin creating opportunities for the two of you to be alone together. Not always in an obvious way. Often through suggestions that look completely natural. A quieter plan rather than a group setting, a dinner rather than a party, something one-on-one rather than surrounded by other people. She is not necessarily executing a deliberate plan. She is following an instinct that tells her genuine connection has more room to develop in private than in a crowd. When a woman has been without intimacy for a significant period, the desire for real one-on-one closeness grows. And she begins gravitating toward the conditions where that closeness is most possible. If you consistently notice that she steers shared plans toward more intimate, quieter settings, that is not coincidence. That is intention, even when she herself has not fully articulated it yet. The seventh thing she does is make her attention toward you consistent and unmistakable. She remembers what you said weeks ago and brings it back naturally. She follows up on things you mentioned in passing, asking how that thing went, referencing a detail you barely remember sharing. She reaches out without an obvious external reason, a message about something that reminded her of you, a thought she wanted to share. Her replies come quickly. Her engagement in conversation goes deeper than it does with most people. And when you are together, her attention is genuinely on you rather than split between you and everything else competing for it. All of this, taken together as a pattern, communicates something her words have not said directly. That you are on her mind. That she is investing in whatever this is. That something real has begun building beneath the surface of ordinary interaction. Here is what ties all 7 of these signals together and why understanding them matters beyond simply recognizing that someone is interested. Every single one of these behaviors is an expression of a genuinely human need. The need for closeness, for warmth, for the feeling of being near another person who actually notices you. When a woman has been without that for a long time, these needs do not disappear. They find expression in the ways available to them. In proximity, in touch, in humor that carries a different edge, in vulnerability offered carefully, in jealousy that surfaces briefly and disappears, in private spaces created quietly, in attention given consistently and without apparent agenda. None of these signals are manipulation. None of them are calculated. They are the honest expressions of someone whose body and emotional world are reaching toward connection, hoping that someone on the other side is paying enough attention to notice and respond with genuine warmth rather than obliviousness or assumption. The right response to these signals is never to immediately escalate or to assume more than is actually being offered. The right response is simply to be present, to notice, to create the kind of safe, grounded, unhurried space where whatever is building can develop at its own pace. Because what she is ultimately looking for beneath all 7 of these behaviors is not just physical closeness. It is the feeling of being genuinely seen by someone who knows how to be fully there, be that person. And watch how everything changes.